Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
have
We're
you seen
live.
that
We're
trend?
live.
Oh my gosh, let me take my Invisalign out really quick.
I almost reminded you, and then I forgot. I saw it.
It's almost an OnlyFans for teeth freaks. You can do it real slowly with music. Okay, have you seen
Repulsive.
the social media trend of everyone posting pictures of them as kids, like at companies? It's like, this is who's
Yes.
testing the product. This is who's blah blah. We have a lot of good photos of us as kids. We should
We really
play on that
should.
trend like 3 weeks late as as they expect from brands. We should ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what are some. So I mean, you and I have shared and swapped some really mortifying photos of each other. So
Yeah. But you got to do it's always like the cute ones. It's like, this is who you're
Yeah.
asking to collaborate on Google Docs, and it's just like you and your cute little like modeling days.
I should do from that era. I shouldn't do like when I was really little and a little cutie. I have to do when I hit puberty, because then my hair turned to straw and we didn't know it was curly, so it was just hay. And then I had big buck beaver teeth, and I had my massive unibrow, and then I gained weight, and I used to wear, that was when like those thick headbands were really popular.
They're back.
So like I was like 98% hair, and so I'd wear those. My hair was like out to here. Oh my God. And I have a really funny modeling headshots where I'm doing like a surprise face, and I'm like, and it's I have the headband on, and then I have another one where it's like kind of like the cool girl pose, but I have on one of those hats from Blossom that Six used to wear with the flower in the front. I gotta find those.
I can remember I think that was the first time I was like, I'm gorgeous. Like first and last.
Yes.
But like something about that hat. I had a flower in the front. I had a role in my church play. I got to be the narrator. Sounds like something you wouldn't want. But I got to read the whole chapter. It was the like birth of Jesus. So I had more speaking lines than anybody else. Actually, I had the only ones, except they would say like, "Behold, the Son of God is here."
Yeah.
But I was like, and on it, and you can picture like that performative reading voice you had when you were like 11.
Oh God,
in my Blossom hat, and I was just like, "The Son of God is here." But I was like stoked, and I remember like I had a velvet dress on and tights, and I was like,
"Oh, Lyndsay,
this congregation is not gonna know.
They are gonna remember me the rest of their
style."
Days. Lindsay, what was was it crushed velvet? It had to be crushed velvet.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Is there another velvet?
I know. I was like, was it navy blue or plum? I feel like
it was dark. I think it was like maroonish.
Oh yeah. Okay, that fits into my vision of you. Really quickly, when those headshots I was just talking about, my senior year of high school, I autographed them because I had like 1 million of them. I autographed them. I passed them out to all my friends as a joke. As like a parting gift when they were leaving high school.
That's trading cards. Sasha is here asking if we were childhood friends. No, but I think we would have been childhood friends.
I think we would have too.
We met in 2013, 2014. Mm-hmm.
Was it that or earlier?
No, because I didn't move back to Chicago.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Well,
that's right.
Yeah, 2013. It was the year I moved back. Yeah.
Yeah. God, I wish.
Yeah.
I know we would have been buddies. Because I feel like I danced around a lot of groups in high school. I mean, my main crew was sports because I played multiple sports, and so there's like a lot of my friends, we played sports together. But
well, that counts me out.
It counts me out. No, but like one of my very best friends was in drama, and so she was my best friend that lived across the street, and so I would like go to all her plays. And then senior year, she begged me to be in one of them, and I was just like an offbeat extra. It was like Sleeping Beauty or something, and I just was like someone that like went down the aisle and like threw flowers. I had like no real role, but I had to be in every rehearsal, which pissed me off because I didn't have any lines or anything.
That's such a theater thing. Like you have to go to every single one, even if you weren't doing anything, because you're like a part of the ensemble. Yeah.
I know. Okay, I'm almost
commitment.
Almost ready. Give me 1 second.
Okay, I see us live on YouTube. I see us live on.
Do.
I love hearing you just like tip tap tip tap tip tap. It just reminds me that you're like, it feels like you're tapping into the mainframe or hacking into the mainframe.
I know.
It sounds so.
I sound so professional.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she is ready. She's locked and loaded. Okay.
She's
back.
Here.
Back
LinkedIn.
in action.
If you're watching on LinkedIn or Instagram, we are only checking comments on YouTube. So hop in.
Okay.
Let her rip.
Chat. Okay. I see the chat up. Public chat. Okay. All right. Okay. We're ready.
One more thing about friendship. I feel like you have like a very diverse array of the types of people you're friends with, but you fit the prototype of like every best friend I've ever had. Not that you're not special. Like you just have certain things that I feel like I've always been best friends with someone who like slightly more outgoing than me. Like there's just all these like little like markers that like fit well with
the right match.
The dynamic where I'm like, oh, I like this. Like there's like a partner in crime who's like gonna like match wits, but then like is a little more brave. I mean, it doesn't take much to be more brave than I am. Like imagine me in high school.
Don't
like
discount yourself. You were very brave. You're just not as extroverted as I am. Like that's really just it.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I tend to have friends. I have friends that are, I would say, some friends that are more outgoing than I am. But I would say a lot of my like closest friends, I would say, like you, where even though they're very friendly, they're warm, they're hilarious, they're like, they can be the life of the party. They actually are introverts at heart.
Yeah, so, like, it's more common than people think.
Yeah. So like people that you just wouldn't realize are introverts. Like I don't think people would peg you as an introvert if they met you.
I always get miscast. Speaking of plays.
Would it help Playground if I kept IG live open too? You know what? Yeah. We would love that. Yes, please. You want to throw up a LinkedIn while you're at it? If we're putting out requests.
Give us an inch.
Oh boy.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is Can They Brand That? The improvised branding show, the only show brave enough to do what no one's ever asked for, and that's brainstorm in real time in front of a live audience with no preparation, time pressure, and a lot of fun,
and a really absurd goal, I guess.
Yeah.
It's so, it's not only it's a brand we've never brainstormed, it's a brand that no one would ever want to brainstorm. So
no one would touch with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, which
we should do 10-foot poles next. No one wants to touch them. Somebody's got to touch them.
How do we get people to touch 10-foot poles?
We gotta. This is going dark. This is going really fast. Well, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Lyndsay Sanders.
Allie LeFevere.
And we're your hosts, and we're the co-founders of Semiserious Agency. What do we do, Allie? Tell them.
Oh, we are a humor branding agency, and we build brands. So we build brands from scratch, everything from naming, positioning, copy, visual identity, like all the identity piece, to bringing it out into the world for the first time. And it's very exciting. It's very fun. And then sometimes it's like it's a category no one's ever played in before. So that's its own challenge. And then sometimes it's a really saturated category. So that branding really is the only distinguisher. And so that has its own challenges, because then it's like so reliant on us knocking it out of the park that, someone got a boot on our neck.
No pressure.
But yeah, so it's really fun though. So we get to build brands, and we use humor as kind of not our primary vehicle, but one of the tools in our arsenal. But the whole idea is like, we want to build brands that people are entertained by, that they like, that they relate to, that feels very humanized. And humor is just an awesome way to get there. And in order to create like just distinction and delight. And we started about 10 years ago. And then we're the brains behind the operation.
We are. And so we do this show basically to flex and work the muscle of being creative and original and trying to, think outside the box without saying think outside the box.
Yeah.
And we also do it to show potential clients the power and potential of using fun as a core strategy and how that is really what consumers want and what they're drawn to. And then also to throw a little bit of levity out into the world. I don't know if anybody's watched the news lately, but things are not going great. So maybe this razzle dazzle will put a tiny dent.
Haven't noticed.
In the vibes. So I think we should go right into what we're going to tackle today. Well, let's do a quick recap. Last week, 2 weeks ago, help. When was
no,
Chip
last
Dust?
week. It was last week.
Last week we did Chip Dust. We built an entire brand, a fake brand, real branding. That's the gist. We need to rewrite our intro shtick now, the only show creating real branding for fake brands in real time.
In
blah,
real
blah,
time.
blah.
I like it.
So we took Chip Dust and pretended it was a real brand, the stuff that's at the bottom of the bag, and created an entire brand strategy, brand positioning, name, slogan, you name it. We did the same thing. What else did we do?
We did sparkling milk. We did doggy high heels. We've done old timey night gowns. Can we bring them back in a cool way?
Glow in the dark. Yes. Glow in the dark toilet paper.
Yep. What else have we done? Yeah, we did some kind of weirdos lately.
Yeah.
And they've been, honestly, the sparkling milk, I think, has been my favorite. I keep thinking about that. This is the angle we took it. I'm not to toot our own horn, but we got on the call after that brainstorm. I was like, that was really satisfying.
Right. I'm like, are we starting? That's how you know the mark of a good brainstorm with this new focus is if we get off the brainstorm and we think do we need to start this company? I know. That's it.
There was a 6-hour window when I was convinced that I don't know, maybe sparkling milk is a category we should play in. Is this our first?
We won ourselves over. That's,
I was like, I'd invest. So today is a real, kind of the joke is built into the concept a little bit of what we're branding today. So this is, I don't want to say it's an outlier, but we thought it would just be kind of a funny thing to tackle. And can we actually legitimize this? It's kind of a running joke of a product, and can we legitimize it? So today we are taking on Granny Panties, which essentially are big boy briefs that
they're technically high-waisted full butt underwear for women.
Yes.
And they are, the term Granny Panties is typically derogatory. They are typically seen as unsexy and more utilitarian, and they get lost in the sea of lingerie. And we thought, could we own calling, what would happen if a brand decided to make that type of underwear, somehow make them cooler while the entire brand name is called Granny Panties? We're owning it, and we're, trying to make it appeal to people. So that's the task.
Yeah. And I'm excited to get into this because I have a few different ideas of how this could start when we talk about positioning. So how are we going to, because obviously we already have an idea that the name is Granny Panties. I feel like that's just the given because the name feels like it's just built into the product. So we should keep it. So we have not looked if anything exists called that. So eek.
Don't tell us.
Don't be a buzzkill. So, but anyway, I think there's a few different ways we could approach it. So I'm excited.
Yeah. I think the only thing left to mention, I guess, is, if you're watching on a platform other than YouTube, come over to YouTube. That's where we're monitoring the comments. The people are going back and forth. And then if there's any weird glitches, let us know in the comments. And also like and subscribe if you're watching, wherever you're watching. And we're happy that you're here. We like all of the ideas make us really happy when you're playing along.
Oh yeah, we're keeping an eye out, and we see some funny things come through. So yeah, we'll call you out if we'll definitely acknowledge you. Okay, should we get into it?
Yeah, you want to key up the song and.
Okay, so the song's ready. Now the only thing left to do is answer the question on everyone's mind: Can they brand that?
They can, doesn't mean they should. Can they brand that? Can they brand that?
Feels good every time. Okay.
Well,
okay. Granny panties. So, I had a couple initial thoughts. So obviously the name Granny Panties, I think that's a given. I mean, there's other things you could do. You could call it like Nana, Granny, Gran. You could kind of, if that name is taken in any way, you can kind of own it in a different way. Like what's that? Because you want to keep it like very neutral, grandma. Like it feels like a grandma. Grandma's actually a funny name too. Grandma is a really funny.
Grandmas.
But anyway, I think Granny Panties are, let's just keep that as
I think we go with that as the name. Yeah.
But okay, are we marketing it as just kind of traditional granny panties for like people in our age or younger? Are we marketing these for older women? Is it for incontinence and postpartum? Like there's a lot of ways we could really take this, because they're all kind of use cases in which you would maybe want to wear granny panties. Or it's like, is the harder challenge to go like, let's make them kind of cool and sexy for kind of the younger generation? Like I'm really open to all of the ideas.
My gut instinct was to launch with subversion, meaning they're called granny panties, but they're sexy, like, or they're cool, or they're like, like, so younger or like youngish. But I think within that, there's definitely room for like senior and like incontinence and stuff, or postpartum, or I guess it's like, maybe we wouldn't discriminate on who's buying them, but we're making them cute and like ownable because they're so comfortable, whether you're sleeping in them or you're like, whatever, that it's like, embrace the granny panty.
Because I love the idea of, I think you can take like the cut of a granny panty and you could add like ruffles. You could add like really cool fun patterns. Like, you could have the sides a little cut out, or maybe some sort of like lace, like just zhuzh them up a little bit, that even though they're full coverage, they still are like sexy and cute.
Yeah. And like high-waisted is in. Someone on in the chat said, instead of Victoria's Secret, it's Gertrude's Secret. That sounds like a campaign where we show different patterns, and it's like a person being like very cute in them, and it's like Gertrude's Secret, like, you know what I mean? Like, and like Thelma's Secret, or like whatever.
Okay, so I had a funny idea that you could do different like drops with them. And so, I have kind of
panty, that we call them panty droppers.
Panty droppers. There we go. Obviously.
Right. Obviously.
you were so excited. You were like choking on your
I just heard drop, and I was
saliva.
like, it's something. You like see like the camera's like shaking. I'm just like, this is like the most mid idea ever, and the most obvious one.
Okay, so no, I love it. I think it's great. Okay, so I had a couple ideas from a like aesthetic perspective. So it's like you could do panty droppers. You could do like funny lines that play into like grandma hobbies. So like gardening, bird watching, knitting. Like you could have funny lines. I don't know if they have that as a pattern, or like the patterns feel like emblematic of that. Like it's the gardening line, and it's got like cool florals. It's knitting. It kind of has cool threaded patterns. Or you could do funny lines like we just saw in the chat, where it's like, it's called the Gertrude, and it's called the Thelma, it's called the Bonnie, like whatever those funny names are that you kind of associate with a grandma. I think that could be a funny angle too.
Yeah. I like that. Someone is saying Victorian, Edwardian, Regency, like not your average period panties, and like making period mean both era and like menstruation. So we made that line, like we could call them period pieces. Like
that's interesting.
Like for whatever era you're in.
Man, that could almost be an entirely different concept. You could have it be part of this for sure, but it's like it's almost like interesting as a standalone in a way too, as like an incontinence line that embraces that aesthetic. That's smart.
That's
I
nice.
like that. Good riff. I like this. I like where it's going.
We are popping. A line I thought of this morning was fruit of the heirloom. No. Talk about these being like legacy pieces that you like pass down instead of fruit of the loom.
Having been very close with my grandmother before she passed, I don't know if I would have wanted any of her Okay, I had a funny voice that I thought, or a voice that I thought could be funny to bring to this brand, is like a very like would your grandma steer you wrong? Well, okay, so the idea I had is instead of calling it Granny Panties, calling it Grandma. The line called Grandma. That was kind of my first instinct, which I don't know, is that better? Whatever. But it's like, would your grandma ever steer you wrong? Like really taking on this like nurturing tone, or like treating it like your grandma's like just like this tender voice. Like, would your grandma steer you wrong? Like grandma loves you. Like
grandma's cookie. It's like trying to think of like the warmest, because it's like as comforting as a hug from grandma. Sort of like the point of being like these don't feel like underwear. Like also grandma's house is where often you get the most like treats and stuff. So it's like treat yourself, or like there's no rules, or like you can stay up as late as you want. Like you could do lots of fun campaigns.
No rules at
about,
grandma's house.
Grandma's house. That's what we could call like the grandma's house is also fun. Like the empire. That's like we're doing business as Granny Panties, but like grandma's house. Then maybe grandma's house is the big brand that has period pieces and like.
That's a good. You know, I've been on this kick lately where I really like the terms like grandma, mother. Like I'm in this weird world where I think there's something really fun about bringing something kind of cool and sexy to like what feel traditionally is like uncool and unsexy terminology, like especially like feminine terminology. I just think that there's something interesting there. Yeah, grandma's house is like, that is our empire. God, I love it. Grandma's House LLC. Oh my God, I'm gonna snap that up.
This brings up a question I wanted to ask you earlier that I'd like to also ask people in the chat. What names did you call your grandparents? These are always interesting to me because they're so regionally specific.
Yeah.
And, or if you have children, what do your kids call? Because I feel like you grew up traditional and then your kids call your mom something
very weird.
Untraditional.
Yes.
Share.
Okay. So I grew up calling my grandma Gram, Gram. But my mother's name is Nancy. So my kids call my mom Grancy. And at first she fought me on it. And I said, absolutely not. It's the funniest name. Wait,
I thought she came up with it.
No. I came up with it. And I forced her against her will to be called that. And now she thinks it's hilarious because the kids now, they don't call her Grancy, they call her Grants. It's just so off-putting, but I love it so much. So yeah, Grants is what she goes by.
So great. I feel like, so I had very traditional, like my dad's parents, it was Grammy and Grandpa.
Okay, Grammy.
It's like I had one fun grandparent on each side. So Grammy was like, I'm not Grandma, I'm Grammy. And Grandpa was just like, who are you? And then my mom's parents, it was Gramps. Gramps was fun. And Grandma was very buttoned up. There's a sports bar here, like sports bar dive bar on my side of town called Gramps's Garage. That's what it's called.
I love that.
And it just has like all this old school ephemera. They did the type of thing on the bar where they like found a bunch of cool, like antique little knickknacks. And then they sealed it in that clear, like poly, whatever. And so when you're looking at it, you're never sure if it's your coaster or not. And there's like tools and like, it's great. I just think that like that sort of stuff is really fun.
Gramps Garage, that's really cute. Yeah, like the visual identity for this brand could just be killer.
Yeah, I mean, like rocking chairs. Okay, we have in the chat where my grandmas were Hazel and Dixie. Those are gorgeous names. Awesome. One was a hairdresser and the other one was mean.
My grandma was a hairdresser and mean.
Wow. Why not both?
You don't have to choose.
I feel like ever since I moved to Nashville, the Southern things people call their grandparents will blow your mind. Like I know somebody who called his name was Big Daddy. And it's always like, I don't know. They're just crazy little, like, that's Beatles and like Poppy Pop. Like it's like, they're just crazy. And then I feel like then the millennial, then they were all like those, I guess the boomer parents with millennial, when they became grandparents, they all were like, oh, I'm Cece, I'm BB, I'm Gigi, I'm like I'm all that. They were just like, we're cuter than that. But
no, I like those kind of weird, like those weird offbeat names. I wish I had, I just had Graham and Gramps. I wish I had a Bobo or Big Daddy.
Okay, I'm looking it up. Mima, Gigi.
Yeah.
Oh, Honey, and Lovey. Those are really
Honey and Lovey's really
Papa,
cute.
Granddaddy.
So that's okay. Crazy. You could do fun like regional drops, or you can do drops that are like reflective of a region. And they could have funny names like that, like Honey.
Please call them panty droppers. What they
again, I'm sorry. How dare I? That could be really fun. That all the lines are different ways to refer to your grandma.
Yeah, Nana's knickers. Someone earlier said pantaloons. Okay, also someone mentioned earlier that they were like granny panties are very distinct from boy shorts. Like
yes, yeah.
And so maybe we then have an offshoot called grandpa shorts or something, like Gramps' like for boy shorts. Although women can wear boy shorts, but I was just trying to think of like instead of boy shorts, grandpa shorts. Anyway, underneath the granny panty lines.
I feel like grandpas wear briefs.
Yes, but this isn't about grandpas. This is just that boy shorts for girls. Boy shorts for girls have the word boy in it.
Yes,
so we replace boy for grandpa. I don't want to dress grandfathers under their pants. And I've always said that.
And this is not a new rule. This is actually a long established.
You know this about me. It's the first thing I said.
Dare you? Grandpa's funny, like the grandpa line. That's really cute. Yeah. I like that. That's a funny grandpa
just a little more like boy shorty. Okay, what other grandma things that come to mind?
I think of like
candy, Werther's. We've talked about this purse candy. Isn't there? Euphemistic word for vagina that's purse, like.
Yeah, purse. When I think of my grandmother, I think of like leftover food folded up in a napkin. So maybe I have to think of other people's grandma.
And cookies, cookie jar.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, maybe our like packaging or like a photo shoot is like a bunch of the cool like designs coming out of an old timey cookie jar or like a candy dish, like alongside Werther's and butterscotches. And so you have like these cool drops, these cool candy drops.
I mean, the photo shoot possibilities are incredible. And I honestly love the idea. I know it's like meant for a certain consumer, but I like the idea of like doing like as you launch the brand, do some sort of activation or pop-up or like some sort of runway where you have like older women like rocking.
It should be of all ages.
Of all ages, but like you have older women rocking them as well. It could be so cool and empowering and sexy. I think it'd be so fun. All body shapes and sizes. I just love that. That like you're never too young. Maybe it's like you're never too young for a granny panty. Like that's kind of a funny inversion.
Yeah, or like you're never too young. That's that line is great.
Yeah,
an iteration of it is like you're never too young for comfort or something, or like you're never too old. It's something about like you get to an age where, or like comfort is sexy. I guess that's a really sort of blasé, but like that embodies.
But that idea is a good idea to play with.
Yeah,
I love like age grace. There's like age. Like the idea age gracefully. It's like not this, but like panty. That's a panty gracefully. I was gonna try to make that work.
What if it was like this cut has aged gracefully? So we brought it back. Like it's like this. It's like the shape of that underwear never went away. It has aged gracefully. It's still relevant. It still is comfortable.
I really like that.
It could work. We could change gracefully to gratefully because like aging is a privilege. Age gratefully. It's getting a little soft, but that's okay.
No. I mean, it's fun. Like there's a lot to play with.
What about wrinkles? Like they come wrinkled on purpose. I guess that'd be for like older never, but like we're not scared of a little wrinkle or something. Like because I think they should be like 100% cotton. They should be like, I guess you could have a silk line and stuff, but like
that's interesting packaging copy. It's interesting copy for like the shipping and packaging process. Like we're not afraid of a little wrinkles. You may find wrinkles inside. Like I don't know. I think that's really fun.
Yeah.
God, like I'm trying to think of what else. Crocheting. What are other things that make me think of a grandma? What about visuals? Like, do you play
in terms of like patterns and stuff?
Yeah, I feel like you play in like you modernize like what might be seen as like a grandma style aesthetic. I think you could take floral and make it really cool and poppy and funky and modern.
Like the small little florals of it, like a couch. I also picture, oh my gosh, part of the photo shoot has to be on you can picture it, a floral love seat that has one of those couch protectors our grandmas used to have, the clear couch protectors.
Yes.
And then there's some like one is really sexy and the granny panties on one of those. Because like you sort of weren't allowed to sit on them.
I would kill to be able to go back to my grandma's house and take this photo shoot. Her living room was like, you only went in there for like holidays. That's where the Christmas tree was. And everything was wrapped in plastic. and it was like beige with gold. It's gold, not gold lame, like, so it was like a lot of creams and golds. She had the popcorn ceiling with the gold speckled. There was an era where, I can't remember if it was in the 90s, where people were like doing like the popcorn ceiling with like gold sparkles on it.
Oh my gosh,
like
I've never seen
really
it.
Cool. Like
So you grew up in a palace.
I grew up in a palace, basically.
Okay.
So think Versailles, but like Versailles in the suburbs.
But my grandma Detroit, Versailles.
I know, Detroit, Versailles. But my grandmother did. She liked gold. She liked to spray paint everything gold. I think because she grew up like so poor that like, I don't know, she liked the accoutrements of just like what the color gold represented. I mean, but it like knickknacks, like she had knickknacks everywhere. She had curio cabinet with like yard rows and just like kind of those weird like precious moments and just weird.
Oh, precious moments for sure. Hummels. Did your grandparents ever have Hummels?
And then we had this weird little clown guy that was like playing a trumpet, and he would play when the Saints go marching in, and his foot would tap, just like some weird thing on the coffee table.
Was he haunted? Was he porcelain?
He was like porcelain, and his toe tapped. It was very, and like those big lamps with the huge shades and the tassels, and then the lampshade had like a plastic wrap on it too, almost.
Yeah, dust proof.
God, Lyndsay, this photo shoot would be so killer.
Another photo shoot / line for a pattern would be like china and porcelain, like a tea party. That feels like teacups and saucers. That seems like
that
cool
could be
one.
a fun influencer event. Is do like a tea party. You could do like a tea party. Yeah, the gardening clubs. You could like tap into gardening clubs and knitting clubs, and you could have like this little fun cult following, because I actually think that, I mean, there's like this whole push now that people are really drawn to grandma activities right now. So it's like people
remember grandma core, cottage core, grandma millennial, like that a couple years ago, grandma stuff like really came back. Yeah. But it's still having a moment. Marble topped coffee tables with polished brass swans and the most uncomfortable carpet. Yeah, the carpet you were not allowed to step on. Okay. Also, when you think of grandma's, like grandma's handwriting or grandma's recipe, like we could be like made like the like material is a family recipe, like that has been passed down for generations. Generation isn't a good word.
Generational comfort. It could be something like that. Generational comfort. Yeah, that'd be fun to
and have. Trauma is crossed out. It's just comfort. Like did the thongs give you generational trauma?
Oh my God, that's funny.
Swap that out.
But you know how beautiful grandma's handwriting is, because they had to learn it in school. And so like that's a really fun font or script to bring into the visual identity of the brand.
I love that.
I'm trying to think. I have something funny. I have something really funny of my grandma that just is so not of this world that we're building, that my grandma used to have this "Don't Worry, Be Happy" shirt that she used to wear all the time. And it was like a weird, ill-fitting sweatshirt that was like kind of 3/4 length. And you've actually seen me wear it, I'm sure, many a time.
Oh, I have.
It's just, it's hideous, but I love it.
That's the heirloom.
That's the heirloom.
You'll pass down to your daughters.
Yeah, it's so bad. I really like
breathable. I was trying to think of like other ways you sell, like what is a selling point of good underwear, and I think it's like 100% cotton. I think it is
breathable material.
Washes well, breathable. Soft.
It doesn't lose its like structure either,
elasticity,
like the elasticity and the I think it's also like maybe supportive, because which could be kind of inherent. I mean, I guess there could be like some sort of support built in, because depending on like
it's high-waisted, how high-waisted.
Yeah. You could do something really cute, like I really love
undies, underclothes, lingerie, knickers, bloomers. Oh my gosh, we're like the G and G string stands for grandma. Like these are the G strings, and they're like the tassels that hang off of a certain one.
I love it. I keep trying to picture what I want. Like I want there to be like some sort of like, I guess it would be the logo mark or the like some iconography of the brand, but it's like I want it like stitched onto the back of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the cute little G for grandma. Oh, I love it.
It's really cute.
They said mirror backed curio cabinets full of ceramic pie birds. God, did we have the same grandma?
Birds and bird watching. I know. I think we all.
And you
did.
also had a mean grandma and a hairdresser grandma, and mine was
I
just
had a mean grandma and a
hairdresser.
nice grandma.
And yeah.
Oh, our time is up. Ah! Oh my gosh, and I can't turn it off. Oh my god, can you hear it?
Uh-huh. Boom.
Well,
okay.
Speaking of grandma, we could do some funny things of like, if you need like tech support, like anything that like grandma, like any like being like technologically behind and like preferring handwritten things, or like we can play into some of the tropes of like,
yeah, Lyndsay, we could even say people
sending $5 bills in a birthday card.
That would be so funny. Oh my God, Lyndsay, it would be really cute to send customers on their birthday, like have them when they place their order, put their birthday in, and then send them something like a little Werther's original or something in an envelope on their birthday, or something really cute.
You know what would be, that would be great. Or a little like, it looks like a $5 bill, but it's a $5 off coupon or something. Yeah. And it's like, just like love grandma. Another great setting for photo shoot is bingo hall. Bingo. Yes. Like bingo. And like cool grit, like, like when like recently retired. Oh, we didn't even go into like retiree and like beach, like snowbirds.
Florida, like kind of like a Florida, like a Florida retirement community vibe.
Like pastels and tan, like that sort of really fun, like by the beach. And you're like
visors.
Picturing the bingo hall with visors and like cigarettes and cocktails and like cool long nails and just being like
usually chain
fabulous.
Yeah. Oh, that's really fun. God, the merch opportunities are awesome.
Yes. I think we could even make some that said Granny Panties like all along the waistband, just like a Calvin Klein. Like that's funny to like really own that. Okay, we have to go into time dictates o'clock. That we go into mascot o'clock.
Okay. Do. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Mascot o'clock.
Okay. Do you want to give the little what this is? What is this segment?
Okay, mascot o'clock. We are big believers that every brand should have a mascot of some kind. We think they are underutilized. They're hilarious. They're great ways to represent your brand, talk about your brand, show up IRL with your brand. And then just like, who wouldn't want to have like a funny, quirky little character or something that is emblematic of who you are and what you represent.
Yeah, it's so catchy. Yeah. It allows something else to be a mouthpiece on your behalf. Tell a different side of the story.
Build a backstory in a funny way. Like there's sometimes where a mascot can be like the person who built the brand. I mean, there's so many ways you could take it.
Yep.
Okay. God, my first instinct is a kitten for some reason. I don't know why.
That's sweet. That sort of fits that aesthetic, like coming out of it, like kittens coming out of a basket, like those old fashioned cars.
Yeah, I think that's little,
like
why.
Bows on.
But a swan, a swan got mentioned in the comments, and a swan is funny, like a porcelain swan. Like, yeah, what is saltwater taffy? Like a taffy character. What's a funny?
Yeah, I was picturing a cookie jar, a sentient cookie jar.
Okay.
Or little butterscotch candies, like a bunch of them, and they all like talk to each other.
They're like the California raisins, but
the butterscotch.
The broads, the butterscotch broads, the biddies, the butterscotch biddies. Biddy is that's a fun mascot
I was going to say
name.
the Baltimore butterscotches. Like California raisins. Biddy.
Biddy is a good.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of, someone was saying like a gray-haired old woman, like Golden Girls. It should be all like versions of the Golden Girls that are like, it could be like our take on them.
Like a Blanche, like Sophia, like Dorothy, Rose. Yeah. Okay.
That's interesting. Oh my gosh. It could also be like, I don't want to be derogatory towards senior elderly, because I was thinking of like how great it is when there's like a grandma on a mission, like Danny's grandma, who in her riding scooter is just like knocking people down and like taking no prisoners.
Danny's
I love that.
Grandma is almost like a third category of grandmas.
That's true.
She's Nana. She's Nana. And I've never met a Nana quite like her with her fiery red hair. What a hoot. She's come to our live shows. Lyndsay, she would sit. This adorable, feisty, elderly woman.
And now she's like 98 years old.
Yeah, I know.
She just had a birthday.
She plays like mahjong now.
She's like playing mahjong is really popular right now. That's another good one. Okay, hold on. You're just lipstick, like sort of lipstick. A lipstick kiss would be a fun logo, but like it's like the lip is like it's a little.
It's got to feel a little off
misapplied.
Kilter. Yeah.
Denture. Could it be a pair of dentures that is like talking for us? But they're like but they have feet and they're laughing. But like again, this is for anybody, and this is sexiness.
Yeah.
The kitten's great.
Yeah. I mean, I think of other. I don't know why I can't think of other. I can think of like inanimate objects, but I'm trying to think of like.
I know. I keep thinking of inanimate objects as well. I keep picturing like bifocals on a string.
Yeah, like a pearled string. That's kind of fun.
Okay, could it be like let's think outside of like inanimate objects. This is wrong, but I'll say it to like get the juices flowing. Sorry for saying juices. I know you hate that word. Like a grandpa, or like who else would be observing this world as like a foil or coming in and being like, that is a great idea. Like young whippersnapper. Who's a classic.
That's a funny phrase to bring to life. Whippersnapper.
Or what's like an animal that lives to be a really long
turtle.
Like the age is turtle. Great.
Turtle. A turtle. Great. Yeah, that's probably a good mascot. A turtle's good. Who else lives a long time? Don't like hippos and like alligators live a really long time. That doesn't feel very grandma-esque to me. I guess if you're coming for the Lacoste alligator.
What if we had a dinosaur? That's the oldest. Like you think a dinosaur is a term for an old person?
Like a dodo, a little dodo, or dinosaur dodo, but like a dodo.
Whatever, yeah.
But you could put like a pearl necklace on a dodo with like one of those like hats with like a almost like she's going to church.
Straw hat. Yeah. We could also put Granny Panties on someone's head, like a dinosaur. Weird, is it? Like a silly dinosaur dodo bird. A dinosaur is
funny. I like a dinosaur. I love the idea of a dinosaur in Granny Panties. Like that is really funny.
Because someone's saying parrots. A parrot feels like an old person.
It does. That feels very retirement home in Florida.
A parrot would be awesome.
That's really fun.
Really good.
Yeah, that's really surprising. Excuse me.
Sasha in the comments said that Allie is so smart and Lyndsay's so energetic. What a burn.
I was hoping you weren't going to say.
That's like, oh, she's so pretty.
Let's see. It reminds me of the workshop we did.
And they're like, she sure is speaking loud things. I love how Allie's just like saying these brilliant things. And Lyndsay is so smart.
And she's funny. And she's like so hot. And then Lyndsay,
Lyndsay
Captain
is
Enthusiasm.
She's coming in.
She's a good cheerleader.
That's like getting a most improved trophy. Personality hire.
No.
Oh, Lyndsay, someone said Jurassic Park. Putting the ass in Jurassic. Jurassic is funny.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, because you could really hold on. That's a funny, not to go. I know we have to wrap this up, but to take it in a funny way where like you're going back to prehistoric period. Hold on. That's kind of the other period.
A period piece. Yeah.
Prehistoric. Yeah, that's funny. Prehistoric period underwear is funny. There's something funny there. That's so funny.
Hold on. I think if I had to decide, I feel most drawn to a parrot. Like I think a parrot would be colorful, interesting.
I like it. I can see that
as a mascot. I think he'd be cute. Or a dinosaur. Yeah. Those are my top two.
Yeah, I like those.
Purse candy I like too.
I can picture them stitched on clothing for some reason. I keep picturing them
like a small little.
I don't. Because you know what dinosaur I keep picturing, and I can't really shake a different one out of my head, is that book, All My Friends Are Dead?
Oh, yeah.
That's the only dinosaur. I can't which is cute. It's a cute dinosaur, but that's the one I keep like defaulting to. So I'm kind of drawn to the parrot.
Yeah, my son is in a dinosaur phase. And so I have a lot of very realistic dinosaurs in my brain. So it's not as cute to me. But then I think about Land Before Time. The film that ruined every single millennial.
Ruined first grade for sure.
Okay. The only good thing about that was drinking out of that leaf. Like that looked wonderful. Yeah. The rest was a horror show.
Or how about
those guys were cute?
They were so cute. Like Pizza Hut had Pizza Hut had the characters. They were little puppets, but they were kind of harder and like
they were like plasticky.
They were plasticky. Yeah.
My friend Neil, you probably met him at the wedding. Neil's married to Britt. He kept his and gave his to his kid. He put a picture up the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, the Pizza Hut land before he has Littlefoot.
I didn't have Littlefoot. I had the Stegosaurus.
So cute.
The green one, Stegosaurus.
Oh yeah, he was like he was kind of like his name I don't remember. I remember Sarah because she was a Triceratops. I thought that was funny.
Sorry. Oh my God, what's his name? Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy. Sound off in the comments.
Petrie was really cute too. Petrie did. What a name.
What a cute name.
Yeah, Jurassic Park we could do. Okay.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff there.
Oh yeah, we definitely they're saying leopard print has to happen.
Ducky.
For sure.
Wait,
Ducky was the duck-billed
duck-bill one. Yeah. The green one was a little Stegosaurus. He was kind of like slower and he was like kind of sleepy. He felt sleepy to me.
He was like wasn't really with it. Chomper, Petrie, Sarah, Ducky, Petrie, Spike.
That's who it is. I had Spike.
Eating obsessed Stegosaurus.
Yeah. Spike. That's who I had. I remember like playing with him in the bathtub with my foamy soap as a kid. Toxins everywhere. Red 40 just swimming through it,
It's just like full of mold inside, You're just like, what's the worst that can happen? I'm drinking out of it. Granny Panties. Okay. I think we branded that. Oh, funded or Done-ded.
Yeah, let's do it. So I'm gonna be honest. I really like this idea.
I did too. I thought you were gonna say the opposite. I was like, oh
no.
And
I'm still emotionally torn if I like Granny Panties or Grandma better. I'm like kind of leaning toward Grandma, but for the sake of this is like, this is where us as founders get torn apart. This is like the business splits down the middle. Lyndsay starts Granny Panties. I start Grandma. It's cutthroat.
It's grandma on grandma crime. Yeah. I could see both sides because the benefit of calling it something like Grandma's is that you could do like Granny Panty. You use Granny Panties as the descriptor.
Mm-hmm.
I am of the mindset that like truly being like, no way is the brand actually called Granny Panties because then you'd be like, I bought some Granny Panties. Like, have you bought Granny Panties?
Yeah.
Like, Granny Panties is now in Nordstrom. Like, I think it's like it's a punchline that sort of has a lot of runway to me.
Yeah.
But
I like, okay. All right. So let's go with that as the name. And then I guess tagline. We didn't really come up with a tagline as much as we were just riffing lines.
Well, but Fruit of the Heirloom sort of works.
It's cute.
But like, I think it'd be like, oh, I know we did. It was like comfort has aged well or like aging gracefully.
Yeah. There's
like this style.
Grandma loves you. Like there's a lot of, lines I think that could work. I think it's we don't have to like lock one in right now, but I think we had some like fun. I think the tone was right. And then I actually think it's like I think it's really fun to kind of embrace this idea that was mocked that I think a lot of us like secretly love anyway. Yeah. Because it is so comfortable. And how do you modernize it, make it cool and sexy? And really like play into that trope, I think is awesome. Like I can't, there may be brands that have done that. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I'm sure at least maybe in this category, I can't think of any, or not in the way we would do it. But I love it. I'm into it. I think it could get funded.
It would also be funny to have a launch campaign that was like a smear campaign against other cuts of underwear, like being like thong, more like wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like very innocent grandma toned burns. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not my bikini. I don't know what's happening there. But that would be fun.
Mm-hmm. What about you? Funded or Done-ded?
I think funded. I think you have to go really hard in the paint to like, it's a really saturated market. So I think you'd have to really bring something else. Cause lots of brands are making high-waisted, full cut, gorgeous, really great, 100% cotton underwear. So I think you'd have to like really shtickify it to like really own a space in the category. But I think this would do it from just, and especially if you could get I think initially too, getting really visible models to do some funny photo shoots in like unexpected ways. Like we talked about like Bingo Hall. And then, I mean, gosh, Bingo would be a great influencer event too. Like a launch event, like at Bingo, playing Bingo. Like,
yeah. It's so fun. I mean, bingo is actually fun. Like gone to bingo halls and played, and there's like a ton of elderly people around, and it's a hoot.
Yeah.
So Danny and Marco go all the time.
It is not like legal in Tennessee, of course, but I've told you this before. My mom we volunteered at nursing homes in our local town growing up, and we adopted grandparents to like give them something to look forward to, and we would go and we would run the bingo things. And fell in love with the game, fell in love with the sport. Somebody's saying Granny Panties without the T.
I know. I was thinking of
Granny Panty. Like that's sort of funny because who hates panty?
Well, that's kind of how it's almost comes out when you say Granny Panty. Like you kind of almost inherently drop the T, so that's nice to just capitalize on that.
Yeah. I'm picturing it GRANNYPANTY, but if you dropped the T, you're making it plural. Granny Panties.
Yeah, Granny Panty. I love it. Okay, this is great. This is fun.
It was a blast. I'm in. I'd buy them. I'd at least sleep in them.
For sure. I mean, I would wear them. I'd rock them. Yeah. I've been with my husband for 17 years. You know, it's. I don't need to be. I don't need to be wearing thongs.
Hey, we're good. The whole vibe of Granny Panties is they're not what you think.
Yeah, they're not what you think.
Sexy is in the mind of the beholder.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Love. Okay.
Okay, guys. We will be back next week, next Wednesday, same time, same place. Hit us with any fictional, insane products, brands that you would like us to do. We will do them. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you for playing along.
Yes,
you guys were great. This is really fun.
So fun. Great
fun
suggestions.
Ideas.
Great energy.
Thank you for picking me in the war.
Thank you for complimenting Allie on her brain and me on my caffeine intake. It means the world to us. I'm so happy.
Oh my God.
It's so perfect. Okay.
Lyndsay, you'll never get over this. We'll be talking about this 20 years from now. We're still talking about the workshop from like 7 years ago.
Someone came up to us at a workshop and told Allie her outfit was really cool and told me that I should have more fun with what I wear, right? Didn't they say? And I was like, okay. I'm wearing a Tasmanian devil sweatshirt. Is that not enough for you freaks?
Taz not do it for you?
Guess
my God. But we laughed so hard because like just the audacity, just like who in their right mind? It was like a dude and he was just kind of like this dopey guy that like walked up and said it.
And then you gave him one of our business cards. And as he was like running his mouth about something else, we looked down and realized he had dropped it and was stepping on it.
Yeah, and it was like a big footprint on it. And we were laughing so hard because like, disrespect.
When we used to do workshops at these like startup incubators, and there were all these tech bros who like imagined they were very funny and that they could do what we did. So they would come up to us afterwards and be like, here's my idea. Blah, 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 and then stepping on my business card and telling me I don't smile enough. What
the old hag, smile more.
What the heck? Oh, wait. Also, another mascot I meant to do is like our own version of Precious Moments. Like a little creepy little doll. Like that's like memorable and very grandma-esque.
Shattered moments. Precious moments. Yeah. How do you?
Well, no, just visually for mascot.
Oh, just for visual. Okay, I thought you were going to say like we come out with our own line.
No. Like just that little like cherub type like porcelain-y, like sweet thing, but it's like a grown-up person. Anyway.
Great. Okay.
Okay, guys.
Love you guys.